In this lesson, we're going to take a look at Filmora's basic tools. I've divided the tools in the basics and the advanced. That way you know which ones you need to master before moving on to the second set. The basic tools allow you to create the base work for you to just add on to it with advanced tools. So I'll get something from the stock media panel. You could use anything for this lesson. And we already learned about the basic stuff like the trash icon, the undo buttons, and the splitting scissor icon. But we have the crop panel, which we still haven't learned. But as the name says, it's just for you to resize your image or video. And you get to choose the ratio right here. You can choose original, which is the ratio that your clip already has. But you could use other ones to just get a precise measurement. You could also get custom to get a more freehand selection. You can also get the dimensions down here and just use anything you want to resize your clip. Okay, once you're done, you can hit OK, but we also have this other option that is pan and zoom. And this is great because it allows you to start from one frame and then move into the next. So you can see start frame and then it ends here. So essentially what that means is that you have to hit OK first. This is my start frame and then it's slowly going to zoom in until this is our end frame. You can see the flash and how it's moving apart from the center. I will make this a little bigger. Let's get original ratio and then just work with the end. You have to select it first. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Go to the corner. Let's hit OK and see how this works. I'm going to render my clip first. So I rendered my clip. It is a bit long, but let's just skip to the end. You can see how I went from the corner, from the center, and then I just go to one corner. Let's split our clip so we can actually see the effect. It may not be that visible because the scenery changes. Try that again. Do something like that. Let's zoom in even more. Hit OK. And now you can see we're zooming in. Let's first render our clip. And this is great if you're talking about something in your video and you want the attention to be on a certain item. Like right now, I want everyone to pay attention to this part, and that way I can just ask Filmora to zoom in onto the part that I'm talking about. So this was the end frame and this was the first frame. So we zoomed in to that one clip, that one part. Let's go back in here. We have some other options. These are some presets from far to near. So this is start. So this is far, and then end, it's closing in. So that's the near. We have from near to far, which is the opposite. It starts from the middle and then it slowly pans out to the full screen. We have from left to right. Let's play that back. Then we have the opposite, right to left, goes the other way. And then we have swap the start and end points. So if I have this and let me readjust start. This is my start, but I want it to be the opposite. Instead of moving these around, I can just hit this button and now they've switched places. So this is a handy tab if you want to, one, shift the attention of the audience on a certain part of the video, or if you just want a cinematic look on your clip, and two, if you want to just crop your footage and resize it. Hit OK. Let's try this. I'm going to try to make something cinematic, so I'll get right in the center. Pay attention to this guy. If the green is right on the plus, that means you're perfectly centered. But if the green thing is out, that means you're a little off. So let's hit OK, and now my clip is zooming out. as it goes forward. Okay, so that was the crop panel. If I want to make this cinematic and add some bars, go to effects and look for cinematic. You have some cinematic overlays. Just add that on top onto the clip, and there we go. We have these things. If we double click, go to effects, you can adjust the opacity and just do what you like with it. You can also add some frames if you'd like. And yeah, that's how you can get a cinematic pan movement. Alright, so that was the crop panel. We will be going over the basics. So let me get my clip back again. There we go. Get a small size. Just cut it off like that. So we will learn about the more advanced tabs like the speed, advanced color tools, chroma key, duration, keyframing, motion tracking and keyframing later. But let's focus on the basics in this edit tab. So this is the editing options that you have for the footage. Depending on what type of footage you have, these may differ. So if it's a sticker from Giphy, you may not get all of these options, but if it's a video or a photo, these stuff will be different. Let's get a photo and see what the difference is. Go to Unsplash and look at this photo. Add that onto my clip. If I double click or just hit this, you can see instead of video we have image. We don't have any motion tracking because there is no motion, and we just don't have as many options as we do for video. Now if I double click on my video, you can see how many more options we have. We have motion tracking, which tracks the motion. We will learn more about this soon. We have stabilization, which reduces the shake in your footage. This footage was shot by a drone, so we don't really have that much, but we'll take a look at this soon. We have chroma key, which is where you have green screens or blue screens, and you get to get the model or the subject without getting any background. We have lens correction, which you can identify the lens that you use to take this shot, and it will just correct it in terms of distortion and the darkness around the edges. We have drop shadow, which adds shadow to the edges, and auto enhance, which automatically fixes the colors and the tone of your video. So let's go ahead and take a look at these one by one. We have transform, where you get to rotate. Let's undo. Rotate, flip, either horizontally or vertically, where you can also scale in your clips or out. We have the X and Y position, position X, and position Y. So these were just things that you can use to move your clips. If you turn off this tab, you will turn off, let's add some rotation. If I turn off this tab, I will not be getting any of these. Turn it back on, and I will. Let's come down to the compositing tab. This is where you get to change the blending mode of the stuff that goes above another clip. If I change the blending mode right here, nothing is happening because I don't have anything underneath for this video to blend with. But if I take this image, put it on top of this video, let's resize it. I can use my transform tab to scale it out, or use these guys. If I put a blending mode on this image, you can see it blends into what's underneath. So to use the compositing tab, you need to have something on top of another track for it to work. Like right here, this could be another video on top, an element, a sticker, any other sort of media. And yeah, you get to blend your footages in together. We have, let's go back to normal. We have the opacity tab. You get to change the opacity. Let's come down here. And that's just how you can blend things in using the compositing tab. But like we said, you need more than one footage. You need another one too. Alright, that's the compositing tab. Every option has this check mark. If you uncheck it, it's not going to be there. If you check it, it will be there. Motion tracking allows you to take one point and have Filmora track that motion. So if you want to attach an element to a moving subject, like we could have someone running here, I can track that running person and then attach a fire animation to him. It's a really cool feature. We will learn about this soon. It's a bit advanced. You need to practice with it, so we won't be getting into this right now. We have stabilization. Like we said, if you have a shaky footage, you can use this to mirror the edges and get a rather smoother clip. It does not always work, but it's pretty helpful. Let me get a shaky footage. So I just imported a footage that is a little shaky. The camera is following the football players, and we are going to use stabilization to fix the extra motion that is causing the video to look a little odd. There we go. Let's bring that into the timeline. Delete that. And as you can see, this video is pretty shaky. I'm going to cut the parts where he's not moving. Let's get rid of that. And this one. So this is the video. You can see it's just soccer players. It's a little shaky. It's not that bad, but we can still use stabilization to fix it up a bit. Double click, go to stabilization. So turn it on and you want to hit analyze. Filmora will go through each of the movements, and then you will have the option to change the smoothness or the edge processing. Like we said, it may not work for every video. It depends on the amount of shake that the video has and the edges of your clip. So I'm going to let this analyze and then we'll be back to see how it looks. Okay, it finished analyzing, and if I skip through, you can see that the edges are mirrored. We have reflect on, but this is what stabilization means. It's going to attempt to make your video less shaky. Let's have a look at smooth level. By default it's 10. You can add to that. It's going to smooth things out. Smooth the video. So if you add to that, it will just zoom in until you're not seeing those shaky edges. But that may not work so well because you're getting rid of most of the video. And if it's on 0, you're just getting the full clip. And then we have edge processing. Just set this back to 10. Let's go somewhere where we can see the edge right here. Right now it's on reflect. As you can see, it's like a mirror up there. But we have tiles, which just gets the bottom. And we have extend, which stretches out the edge of the video. You can also have none, and it will just be black. So to smooth out your clips, I recommend reflect, but also add to your smooth level if it's possible with the clip that you have. But generally, it will just get rid of any excess motion. And shake, make sure you go through your clip and you don't get things like that. I'm going to add to the smooth level. There we go. Let's hit OK, render, and see what it looks like. There we go. Let's have a look. You can see that the shake is because of our resolution. Let's turn it back to full. So you can see Filmora attempted to stabilize this footage, but it did not work on this one because it didn't really have that much shake to begin with. Let's have a look. You can see that the video is pretty stable. I'm assuming they used a gimbal for this, but it really does depend on your clip. If you have a handheld shot, there will obviously be more shake compared to this video, and those shakes are can be detected in an easier way compared to the shakes in this video. So if you do have a handheld shot, you could totally go for this stabilization feature. It will work way better. And alright, we went over most of the basic tools that Filmora has to offer. In the next lesson, we're going to look at the rest. These basic tools are things that you will end up using first before adding onto them with the advanced tools. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I will see you in the second part of Filmora's basic tools.